Welcome back to Dragons and Spaceships, your go-to podcast for all things book talk related. I'm your host, Brandi, and today we have a thrilling episode lined up. We are diving into Lisa Jewell's latest psychological thriller, None of This Is True. This novel has captivated readers with its intricate plot and complex characters, and I cannot wait to explore it with you. But before we dive too deep into None of This Is True, let's take a quick look at another thrilling book that's been making waves lately. Let's talk about South of Nowhere by Jeffrey Deaver. If you're craving more suspense and mind-bending twists, this one will definitely keep you hooked. Let's explore what makes this book a must-read. South of Nowhere by Jeffrey Deaver is a gripping thriller that follows a woman's quest for truth after a traumatic incident alters the course of her life. When her husband goes missing, she is thrust into a web of lies, secret, and deceit, forcing her to confront her own darkest fears. With Deaver's signature twists and turns, this novel keeps readers on edge, questioning what is real and what is merely perception. Now that we've had a taste of South of Nowhere and its nail-biting suspense, let's turn our attention back to None of This Is True, where stakes are just as high, but the mysteries run even deeper. In this novel, Lisa Jewell takes us on a psychological roller coaster, exploring the lives of two women whose seemingly ordinary worlds are shattered as they navigate a maze of lies and secrets. Let's dive into the plot and uncover characters at the heart of this twisting tale. At the heart of None of This Is True is a chilling tale of two women, Alex Summer, a successful podcaster, and Josie Fair, a seemingly ordinary woman whose life becomes entangled with Alex's in increasingly disturbing ways. As their paths cross, the lines between truth and deception begin to blur, revealing the hidden lives both women are trying to keep under wraps. The novel twists and turns, exploring themes of identity, trust, and the hidden secrets we all carry. It's a psychological roller coaster, and it's hard to put down once you start. Let's talk about some themes in there. We have some identity and self-perception. This book delves deep into how we perceive ourselves versus how others see us. Alex and Josie are constantly questioning not just the truth about each other, but also about themselves. This theme highlights the fragile nature of identity, especially when secrets are involved and how much of who we are is shaped by the world around us. Then we have trust and manipulation. Trust is a major role here. Both women are caught in webs of manipulation, and the story forces readers to ask, who can you trust when everything feels like a lie? The story keeps you questioning whether the women are acting out of fear, revenge, or a twisted need for validation. Then we have the past's grip on the present. As the narrative unfolds, the characters' pasts reveal themselves in unexpected ways, showing how their history shaped their decisions in the present. It's the poignant reminder that the past never truly stays buried. It can surface when least expected and often with disastrous consequences. So let's do a quick character breakdown. We have Alex Summer. Alex is the kind of woman we often look up to, successful, driven, with a seemingly perfect life. But as the story progresses, we start to see cracks in her facade. She's forced to face uncomfortable truths about herself and the world she's built around her podcasting career. It's fascinating how her public persona contrasts with her private fears and insecurities. Then we have Josie Fair. Josie's character is a masterclass in complexity. At first glance, she seems like just any other ordinary woman, but as the story dives deeper, we realize there's so much more lurking beneath the surface. She's unpredictable, and her actions keep you guessing whether she's the victim or the one pulling the strings. So let's take a look at some of the fan reactions and critical insights. None of This Is True has sparked a lot of conversation among readers, and the feedback has been quite varied. Positive feedback, as many readers have praised the book for its gripping suspense and its character depth. One reviewer on NetGalley said, "I was very excited to read this book. It grabbed me right away and it didn't let go as the story unfolded." Fans particularly loved how the twists kept coming, and just when you think you figured it out, the story takes another unexpected turn. But not all reactions have been as glowing. Some readers on Goodreads felt uncomfortable with the themes of manipulation and deceit, especially regarding Josie's actions. One comment noted, "I dislike the main character for other reasons. I guess I am so caught up in disliking Josie for other reasons I didn't notice it as much," which shows just how polarizing the character can be. But isn't that the mark of great psychological suspense? The structure of this book has been praised for its unique blending of traditional narrative with podcast-style transcripts. It gives the book almost a documentary feel, adding layers of realism to the fiction. One fan on Reddit said, "I listened to this audiobook and it was super well done, probably the best one I've heard since Good Girl's Guide to Murder," which speaks to the novel's strong auditory elements, especially for audiobook lovers. If you are an audiobook lover, I highly recommend listening to this one versus reading it, because it is very cool how they add the podcast style in there. I highly recommend the audiobook style. None of This Is True has garnered positive reviews for its suspenseful narrative and complex characters. Publishers Weekly notes that fans of Jewell's work will be satisfied by this pitch black outing and its shocking climax, but readers with a lower tolerance for nastiness should turn elsewhere. And like I said earlier, the audiobook narrated by Nicola Walker and Louise Brealey has been praised for its compelling performances and immersive sound design. But before we wrap up today's episode, let's talk about a book you'll want to add to your radar. Today we're going to talk about Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. This romantic fantasy is set in a world where the dark forces have won the war and the hero who was meant to save them is dead. With magic, intrigue, and a sizzling enemies-to-lover romance, Rose in Chains is sure to captivate fantasy lovers. It's available for pre-order now, and it's set to be released on July 8th, 2025. If you're looking for a book that combines high stakes with irresistible chemistry, this one is a must-read. Now let's go ahead and move into our Q&A segment. Today's question: I've heard a lot about It Ends With Us being a tough read, but I'm still curious about how the relationship dynamics unfold. Can you give me a little insight into Lily's journey without giving away spoilers? Great question. Lily's journey is at the heart of It Ends With Us. Without spoiling anything, I'll say it's all about her growth and learning to understand what she deserves in a relationship. Throughout the book, you'll see her struggle with the emotional pull between two people, but more than anything, you witness her slowly finding the strength to choose herself. It's a powerful story of self-discovery and realizing that love doesn't always look the way we expect it to. That wraps up today's episode of Dragons and Spaceships. We've explored the intricate narrative of None of This Is True, delved into its complex characters, and discussed the reception of the novel. Don't forget to comment or message us your questions for a chance to be featured in next week's Q&A segment. Follow the show, share it with your thriller-obsessed friends, and as always, until next time, happy reading, stay curious, and may your TBR pile never stop growing.